Mahafa Day, and welcome to another episode. Familiar face joining me again here today. We've got Liz Duenas, and we're talking once again about InafaMaolek, which is, you've got your hands in quite a few things, Liz. Peer mediation. For those that have missed some of the other episodes that we've done with the skit programs that you've done, give us a little background on InafaMaolek.
Okay, so InafaMaolek was formed in 1982, and it was formed to resolve disputes. So we undergo in InafaMaolek, it's nonprofit, and the mediators in the organization undergo a 3-day training to be certified. And of course, we handle different type cases of mediation. Some of them are walk-ins. We do take cases from the court. The cases vary from insurance disputes, domestic, child visitation, child custody, property disputes. So any form of dispute, they could come in and request for a mediation. And of course, the process involves having two mediators, a mediator and a co-mediator, to sit, listen to the complaints, and then we facilitate the process in terms of hearing both sides. We're neutral. The process is confidential. I want to stress that. The process is confidential. And of course, our objective is hopefully to get to the end where both parties agree to resolve the problem. And whatever the resolution is, they both sign and they walk away and, they accept that process. So again, we're nonprofit. We do have a number of volunteers, and through this process as well, we've received some grants to do the skits with the youth mediators. So we do have a youth program where we have youth mediators who go through the training process, and we do presentations to the schools, which brings us to Estella Calata, who has taken the training many years ago, which was, I believe, 1999. And I wanted to commend her for taking the program on when it was funded and then no longer funded, but through her own time and expense, she took on this program. So anyway, we'd like to welcome her.
Yeah, let's go ahead and welcome Estella to the show. Estella, you're still teaching over there at Wettengel Elementary, correct?
Thank you so much. I'm a school counselor here at
Okay.
Wettengel since 2002. Yes,
Oh, great.
thank you for inviting me here also, Liz and Andy.
Well,
So
it's a pleasure having you, because this is, I've talked to Liz and some of the other mediators about what they do at InafaMaolek, but to get someone that is one of the true success stories of InafaMaolek, and not just you personally, but the students and the lives that you've touched through this process, I think is something that we needed to celebrate. So we're going to talk to you a little bit about the history of it. Let's go ahead and go back to 2002. How did you get involved in InafaMaolek?
2002 was the year that I joined the InafaMaolek training for mediators, POG with Attorney Wolf. So that was my entry point as to how I would like to have a peer mediation program here at Wettengel. That was also my first year here as a school counselor. So I wanted to pursue, I'm familiar with the InafaMaolek way of helping in the mediation process. So in the school system, this is very appropriate because we're able to train students how to resolve conflicts without violence, how to take care of relationships, building relationships with students, and also training them to be good role models in the school system. So at first, it was just me who was helping out, inviting the young university mediators to come here, of course, with the support of then the president was Attorney Wolf. And so we were very grateful that they come here every year. And then every year we train the kids after school. This is after school from 1 to 5 or 2 to 5, around 3 hours, because the training is supposed to be 10 hours training for the kids after school. And they sustained it. They were able to maintain their attendance for 3 days. It can be Monday, Wednesday, Friday. for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then at the end of the year we celebrate. At the end of the training, we celebrate them, giving them certificates. We even have food for them. So the training went on and on from 2002. Well, I started here up to this time. Even if there is no funding, I said, since I'm aware of the process, how to train the kids, I am able to pursue that process with the help, of course, with the support of my principal, whoever is the principal assigned to my school this past years, and especially shout out to Mrs. Iglesias, who's very supportive this years that she's been here with us, and also our nurse. She's also one of my team, Nurse Alma Rabena, and then our librarian, I involved the librarian, Ms. Torres, and also one of the tomorrow teachers, Senora De Reveluhan. So it's not just me who's helping out in pursuing the training, but there are so many who are open to take care of our students here. Yes, and I'm
Yeah,
very
and
grateful.
you know, being at an elementary school, you're right there at that prime, those formative years of these kids, and teaching them how to resolve these conflicts at such a young age, it only benefits the community in the long run. Because, you know, as they go into high school, it's a tough time for a lot of kids, but having that background of being able to resolve these conflicts, these disputes, you know, maybe it's a bully or something like that, being able to you know, to kind of being able to deal with these situations in a productive way, in a positive way, it only benefits these kids all throughout their lives. So, you know, 19 years of doing it, you've had a lot of kids come through there. You've had a lot of kids, you know, take this course. So have you seen a lot of the payoff, so to speak, of these those kids from 2002 that are now adults and probably have their own families?
Yes. So since the training is not just a certain portion, it's actually training about the self, right? Self-awareness, building relationships, social awareness, be aware of their environment, because the kids that were being trained, they will be doing mediation for among their peers. And then they will be assigned a schedule from Monday to Thursday, because Friday is always our meeting. Every Friday is always our meeting during their lunch break. So every lunch break or recess time, they have duty schedule, and kids are assigned in different strategic areas of the campus with their vest and their clipboards and their paper to write down the mediation process. If it's happening, they bring them to my classroom for them to do their mediation stuff. So all these kids are trained in such a way that they're good role models. At the same time, they know how to facilitate the process of conflict resolution among their peers, so that they will not end up doing violent stuff or end up in the office, right? You catch them where it's not yet the storm, but they're still brewing into a storm.
Yeah, I'm
So
glad you brought that up, because we did
yeah,
the typhoon skit Paktu
yeah.
with InafaMaolek, and you know, you're taking all these things, the training, and you're really implementing it with the students, and obviously the benefits, they're positive, and these translate to their entire lives. You know, whether it's a
Yes.
personal relationship, whether it's work. You know, if they're a supervisor and they've got two employees that are kind of not getting along, they can help resolve this before it has to go to, you know, before we have to call Liz and say, hi, I need some mediation. They can help with these things. So it's a great thing that you've taken up. You've really taken up this cause. And one thing I think was key in the email that Liz sent me, and she mentioned it here, is that you continued this training in the program even when the funding wasn't coming in. So why exactly did you feel it was that important to continue?
I believe that was very important to continue. It's because the kids need it. The kids are the one requesting for it. So every year they will always say, Mrs. Calata, are we going to have your mediation again next year? I said, we'll see. I hope so. So it's the kids now who are asking for the training. They're asking for joining the training. Even those kids who are disputants in the past, for example, I think they were converted to become mediators too, because they wanted to be trained how to be a conflict manager or a conflict mediator. So that's a plus. And there was this one year, it's so funny, because I thought this this little girl, she's tall. I thought she's a fourth grader. We usually train only fourth and fifth graders. I did not fully know well. She's new to our school. And I recruited her during the PTO meeting with the parents there saying yes. And then I found out she's third grader. She's really tall, right? So
Oh.
I have to recruit other third graders. I ended up recruiting 5 of them, joining the training, face-to-face training. And lo and behold, this is a very good example of how a new student bloomed into someone, and she even became our valedictorian when she ended graduating at fifth grade. So it's not only teaching them social emotional skills or relationship skills, also their academic achievement is boosted when they're part of a program like this, because it helps them. And the other person who's also shy that I recruited became the salutatorian. And then when they moved to BMS, they also became Valley and Salu. Now they're in their high school level. Second year high school, I think, incoming juniors. So I'm so excited for them because these are 2 concrete examples. They can be shy, but lo and behold, give them the training, give them all the skills, build them, build their self-confidence, it can boost their academic achievement and their college and career. They're looking for college, they're going to college, that's for sure. These kids who are in the training are going to college someday or
Like I
have a
said,
vocation.
yeah, it translates to the rest of their lives, and it is key because when you're a kid, nobody likes dealing with conflict, things like that. But when you give these kids the tools to be able to resolve these in a positive way, like you said, it builds their confidence. It builds their ability to be in those social situations and not have that anxiety, like, oh, I don't want to deal with this. I'm just going to kind of go into my hole and disappear for a few weeks. But you teach them how to deal with these things and resolve them in a way that just it benefits everyone. And so the work you've done over there has been outstanding. I'm sure Liz is very proud. She's smiling the whole time you're talking about it, just because of the work that you've been done for these kids in their lives. All right, welcome back to the show. We're talking InafaMaolek, peer mediation, conflict resolution. Once again, Liz Duenas is joining me, and Estella Calata, who has taken up the cause at Wettengel Elementary as a counselor. And you've seen the benefits, Estella. We've talked about it. So have you tried to encourage other counselors from other schools, like, hey, you need to get involved in this program if you're not already?
Yes, I have invited a lot of other counselors in elementary, middle, or high school. I even challenge all our graduates here in fifth grade, if they go to a middle school without a school peer mediation program, to ask their principals. And I think some of them did. So, and even when they go to high school, if there's no peer mediation program, to advocate for that, because it's really good lifelong learning skills, the conflict resolution skills, and relationship building, especially during this pandemic time. So I think there are some school counselors interested to give the peer mediation program a chance. My poster says, "Give peace a chance." Give peace a chance, because peace from the heart, peace for our world at this time is very, very. It's really important. And also, one of the things that I see with how Wettengel is a WASC accredited school ever since 2002. So our school has been commended because of our peer mediation program. That's what I can say. So why not have it? Even your school get more points to become a WASC accredited school if your program is there, your peer mediation program is there. And I believe some school counselors are giving the attention for this peer mediation program.
Fantastic.
Like
So
them.
you're not the only one spreading the word out there, Liz. You and your team, which is a pretty big team for a nonprofit. You've got the youth mediators, you've got yourself, and all the other volunteers over there, and you're kind of doing an education world tour, so to speak. You're going around to some of the schools here on island. Let's talk about that.
Yes, last week we started with St. Francis. So we did the different grade levels at St. Francis. We went to San Vicente. And this week we're doing Finnegaugin. And we're doing a combination of 2 type presentations. Where we did one-on-one where we're in front of the students. And the other one we did yesterday was via Zoom, which of course we had to work out some of the kinks because, we're still familiarizing ourselves with the Zoom process, and then breaking them out into the break rooms because we have a youth mediator assigned to a group. So it's really an interesting process where we were at one of the schools and you see them in a circle and the youth mediator going through the training process, and it's a wide circle, and then you just watch a few minutes and all of a sudden all heads are bent forward and they're really engaged and participating. So it really has been so rewarding to see the kids get engaged, as Estella has talked about, and taking pride in resolving conflict and looking at conflict that surrounds them every day. And it's always a question of choosing how to deal with it. So the schools have been really receptive. We just want the educators out there to know the program is available. We're working right now through a grant with GIDA, which they funded the skit. And also now they're paying for the YUMs to do the presentations. And it's really an important program to get the youth involved so that as they get older, they can handle not dealing with Pagzu, a typhoon
Right.
in their midst, how to roll with it, how to deal with it, how to come up with resolutions, problem solving. And Estella, as you mentioned, life learning tools for individuals to deal with daily life.
Yeah,
So,
and it's something that we've said it a bunch of times, at least I have, it's something that benefits everyone. And, kids, they deal with a lot of conflict. Maybe the teacher's giving them a little bit too much homework. Maybe mom and dad are on them about doing chores and stuff like that. And, maybe there's a bully at school. But all these skills that you're teaching them can help them kind of deal with these situations in a positive way, like we've said. And when you go to the school, having the kids, the peer mediators, I think is key because, when you're in elementary school, having a boring adult come and talk to you is just like, oh, here we go. But having the younger kids kind of take up this cause, and the other kids, whenever it clicks that, hey, this is something that I need to get involved with, this will help me in my life. It's key. And then they get invested. And like you said, Estella, they start asking for it. And when you get elementary school kids to volunteer or ask for a program, you're doing something right.
yeah. And, I think it's important as well to have the youth mediators because the younger generation, they relate more. So if you have a youth mediator, they can relate more. And even with InafaMaolek, when we have cases that involve a youth, visitation, or whether it be some issue with the youth, having a youth mediator in the mediation process helps the youth feel they're being heard. If you have all adults, it's a little different mentality, different view of looking at life versus having a youth mediator there who can relate with the problems associated with the youth or the young adult. So it makes a big difference.
Yeah, it really does. And you've got quite a few mediators there. You've got one to kind of fit every situation. If it's a corporate dispute, you've got someone from that world in there. If it's a couple high school students, or it's a couple in their mid-30s that are having a dispute about custody or something, you've got someone for all these situations, and they're all well trained. So it's a great program you need to look into. And I think it's been great for the community. Obviously, it's been going on this long, but having someone like Estella and the others that have taken up the cause and been so passionate about it, I think is key to keep it going. And we're going to wrap things up here in a little bit, but before we do, Liz, don't worry, Estella, we're going to get to you. But Liz, what do you have coming up as far as InafaMaolek?
Well, we're Pat Wolf is off island right now. He's having a medical trip right now, but when he's back on island, we normally do mini trainings with our mediators that have been certified. Right now, the project, I got to tell you about this project because remember we did the suicide prevention. So we're having posters printed, banners printed. We're going to post them with the little QR code so they can look at the suicide prevention skit. So we're going to post them throughout the stores on island. We're posting them at the mayor's office, posting them at the schools. So again, our youth mediators are assisting with that project. We're just waiting to get those banners and posters printed, and then we're going to get those out into the community to spread the word. And you know, it's really great to have our team spread the word. And of course, it's to benefit our community, our suicide prevention, and our conflict Pugzoo video. So, you know, the more you can air that out, please. But, you know, I've got to commend KUAM because we hired KUAM to assist us with putting the videos together. That's what I think made the difference. The graphics behind your team really did an excellent job making it look professional, humorous, and effective in getting the message. So I want to thank KUAM for helping us in that process. So
it's our pleasure getting the word out. We've definitely got a great team over here. So a lot of things going on with InafaMaolek. Those skits, they are available to view whenever you want up on YouTube. So just go and search for InafaMaolek. You'll probably see quite a few results. Estella, before we go, wanted to kind of give you the last word. So anything you'd like to add for you know, students, adults, anyone that's watching this and maybe interested in getting involved?
I'd like to thank all of the parents that we have who supported our students. There are a total of around 570 to 600 students that were trained since we started the peer mediation program here at Wettengel. And so that will, if each 570 or 600 will have around 7 that they have helped out, that's around 4,200 affected or inspired by their work, and then of course their families. And I really would like to thank the parents and then our school community, our teachers here who have endorsed or recommended those kids to be part of the training, and also our administrators, and InafaMaolek has been there to support us every year, and of course all our stakeholders who are out there making sure that we have a peaceful island. But it starts when they are young, and when they're young, they will bring it with them, the skills, the knowledge, the attitude, especially of peer mediators. It's not easy to give peace a chance, but then with the whole community working out the whole island, focusing on that, especially during this pandemic times, you will be able to make this peaceful island part of a peaceful world. And I thank you, Andy and Liz, for inviting me today. Thank you.
Well, thank you so much for joining us, telling us your story, and the students that have you know, benefited from what you've taught them and what InafaMaolek has. So definitely an asset for InafaMaolek. We hope you keep up the great work. And you know, like I said, it benefits the community. So thank you on behalf of all of us for the work that you do. Liz, Estella, it's always a pleasure. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
thanks. Thanks, Andy. Appreciate it.
All right, my pleasure. Thanks for watching, everybody. Enjoy your night.